Hello everybody and welcome back to Lucky Duck Vids, and today we're going to be talking about the time a South Korean director was kidnapped by the Korean dictator Kim Jong-il in order to direct a number of films including a kaiju film. So let's begin. So picture this. You're a prominent film director in the late 1970s with a long career in cinema and film production, and you have a lot going for you when suddenly you hear rumors of your ex-wife having gone missing in Hong Kong. So, much to the behest of your colleagues, you go to investigate only to be shanghaied by your biggest fan, who would turn out to be North Korean dictator Kim Jong-il. Well, that's exactly what happened to director Shin Sang-ok in 1978. Now, since then, the North Korean authorities have denied the kidnapping accusations, claiming that Shin came to the country willingly. Shin and his ex-wife Choi who was also kidnapped, made secret audio tape conversations with Kim Jong-il, which supported their story. He was forced to undergo reprogramming in a North Korean prison, and then once they realized that he was fit to do what they wanted him to do, they released him, and subsequently he was forced to film 7 different films over the course of a decade. You see, this was when Kim Jong-il made a peculiar proposition to Mr. OK. When Kim Jong-il wasn't finding the cure for shortness or showing off his latest fashion, Kim was also said to be an avid film buff, amassing more than 20,000 videotapes and DVDs. His favorite flicks reportedly included Friday the 13th, Rambo, Godzilla, Hong Kong action films, and anything starring Elizabeth Taylor. I mean, yeah, good old Kim was probably a big white knight for Elizabeth Taylor back then. But yeah, so he decided to include Mr. Shin, much to his dismay, in directing these 7 films. Which leads us to the peculiar film that I found very interesting, Pulgasari, from 1985, which is a indirect sequel, kind of reboot of a previous film that came out in 1963, which was lost to history. So yeah, let's get into the film here. The kaiju film featured mostly North Korean propaganda, like the 6 films that accompanied it. Now, is the film good? Is the film good? I would say no, not at all. But as an avid enjoyer of kaiju films myself, I would say it's a fun watch, especially if you're into like slapstick kaiju movies with a lot of the cheesiness of the time, especially coming from special effects from Toho. Oh, did I say Toho? You sure heard me right. They were actually also deceived by Kim Jong-il into doing the effects for the film under the assumption they were working on a Chinese film. So that's a little bit of trivia there. Even Toho partook in the creation of this very strange film. And they're well known for, obviously, Godzilla. But yeah, the story of the film goes as follows. In feudal Korea during the Goryeo dynasty, a king controls a land with an iron fist, subjugating the peasantry to misery and starvation. And an old blacksmith who was sent to prison for defending his people creates a tiny figurine of a monster by making a doll of rice, and before dying asks the god of earth and sky to make his creation a living creature that protects the rebels and the oppressed. When the figurine comes to contact with the blood of a blacksmith's daughter, the creature springs to life, becoming a giant metal-eating monster, whom the blacksmith's daughter names Pulgasari, which is the name of the mythical monster her father used to mention as an eater of iron and steel. Pulgasari now shares a special bond with the blacksmith's daughter, and after he starts eating some of the farmer's tools, becomes a giant and powerful figure. After much suffering, the peasants form an army, storm the palace of the region's governor, and kill him. Soon after, the evil king becomes aware that there is a rebellion being planned in the country and he intends to crush it. But he runs into Pulgasari, who fights with the peasant army to overthrow the corrupt monarchy. Pulgasari wins many battles because of his unending hunger of all kinds of metal, readily provided by its enemies. Nevertheless, after capturing and executing the leader of the rebellion, who was also the future husband and blacksmith's daughter, the king's army threatens to kill the blacksmith's daughter if Pulgasari does not surrender. Pulgasari lets itself be trapped to save the woman, and the royal army apparently kills the creature by burying it under the ground. After escaping, the blacksmith's daughter revives Pulgasari by again pouring some of her blood on the burial site. Pulgasari grows strong once more and attacks the king's palace, destroying it and simultaneously killing the king. After the defeat of the king, Pulgasari becomes a new problem since he starts eating the rebels' weapons and farmers' tools, which are given to the creature without objection. Since the peasants still believe Pulgasari is a benign savior, the blacksmith's daughter realizes that Pulgasari's hunger will never stop and that he is inadvertently oppressing the people he fought for. She decides to sacrifice herself by hiding inside a big bell that Pulgasari finds and actually eats. Pulgasari yells in anguish as the blacksmith's daughter's presence in the system causes its stomach to explode, tragically killing both of them, but saving the people once and for all. Which is pretty interesting movie. It sounds funny. It was pretty funny to me, anyways. The film, for what it's worth, is an interesting watch. It's humorous effects and kaiju action. So, what happened to Shin after he made this movie? Well, him and his wife, whom he was forced to remarry by Kim for some reason, I guess he was also a big shipper at the time, and so he invented the burger and probably shipping. So who knows, based on the propaganda that was going around at the time that he was spreading. The couple staged their escape in 1986 while on a trip to Vienna, where they fled to the United States Embassy and requested political asylum. According to former CIA agent Michael Lee, Choi and Shin became American citizens in 1989, 3 years after the escape, and adopted the names Teresa Sheen and Simon Sheen respectively. They lived in Reston, Virginia and Beverly Hills, California, where Shin worked in the 1990s directing Three Ninjas Knuckle Up and working as an executive producer for Three Ninjas Nick Back and Three Ninjas High Noon at Mega Mountain. I guess he made a ninja trilogy after escaping. But yeah, before returning to South Korea in 1999, at first Shin was reluctant to go back to South Korea because he feared that the government's security police would not believe the kidnapping story. He eventually returned to South Korea permanently in 1994 and continued to work on new movies. That same year, he was invited to the Cannes Film Festival as a jury member. His last movie as a director was the unreleased 2002 film called Kyo Iyagi, The Story of Winter. Shin ended his career in 2004. That year, Shin underwent a liver transplant. He died of complications caused by hepatitis 2 years later. At the time of his death, he was planning a musical about Genghis Khan. South Korean President Roh Moo-hyun posthumously awarded Shin with the Gold Crown Cultural Medal on April 12, 2006, the country's top honor for an artist, which, what a way to end this video. He lived a long and very interesting life, especially for a director. And I'm sure that was a very long journey for him. He made a lot of movies, and that's the story of how a South Korean dictator was South Korean citizen was kidnapped by a dictator. Uh, yeah, I just wanted to bring this little fun movie to you guys. I'd recommend it if you just want something in the background or just want something to laugh at. You know, it's a very funny movie. It- Even though I don't think that was the intention, but yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. That was a story of how that happened. And stay tuned for future videos where I discuss different films every day. So yeah, feel free to like, subscribe, recommend to your friends, and yeah, thank you so much for watching the video, and I hope you guys have a lovely day.
Kaiju 誰も見ることのできなかった怪獣映画の最高傑作が 35mm ニュープリント完全版でついに日本上陸。全世界の映画ファンが夢にまで見た伝説的見せ場の数々、その全貌が明らかになる時が来た。